We're all taught to see the world in a very specific way. Like we're all playing this game, but we never really agreed to the rules.
That's a good analogy. So this domestication thing, it sounds kind of like we're being programmed almost.
Right.
And he talks about attention being like the tool, right?
Yes.
Like through repetition, we're just absorbing all these societal rules and beliefs. Welcome to Between the Lines. Today we're looking at the 4 Agreements, a practical guide to personal freedom.
By Don Miguel Ruiz.
It's about breaking free from self-imposed limitations, and it suggests 4 sort of powerful agreements that can transform our lives. You know, you shared this book with us hoping to find a path to more personal freedom and also just a deeper understanding of yourself, and we're really excited to break down these ideas. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. You know, what really grabs you right away is how Ruiz talks about reality.
Oh, yeah.
He calls it domestication. Like from when we're kids, society's telling us how to dream.
Okay, so like through our parents and school and religion.
Exactly. You know, it's like we're all taught to see the world in a very specific way. Like we're all playing this game, but we never really agreed to the rules.
That's a good analogy. So this domestication thing, it sounds kind of like we're being programmed almost.
Right.
And he talks about attention being like the tool, right?
Yes.
Like through repetition, we're just absorbing all these societal rules and beliefs.
It's exactly like that. Think about it. How many times did you hear, be polite, or don't interrupt, or share your toys, you know?
Oh, yeah, a lot. All the time, really.
Right, and those messages
Right.
repeated over and over.
Right.
They become like this foundation for how we understand the world. It shapes us.
So are those repeated messages, are those what he's calling agreements?
Exactly.
Because, I mean, even language itself is an agreement. We all agree that this sound means this thing, right?
Right.
And then there's bigger agreements like religion, morality, things we kind of just accept without really questioning.
Yeah, they're just there waiting for us when we're born. It's a world already built on those agreements.
That's true.
And over time, they solidify into what Ruiz calls our book of law. It's in our minds.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And it basically dictates what we believe to be true. And from that, all our judgments come from that book of law.
Oh, I see.
Like a mental operating system, you know,
Yeah.
running in the background.
So this book of law, it's like our personal set of rules for how we judge everything, ourselves, other people, the world.
Exactly.
And I guess when we break those rules or when someone challenges those rules, that's when things get messy.
Promise. That's when the inner judge and the victim come in.
Like our internal police and the part of us that's getting punished.
It's really important to understand this dynamic.
Okay.
So the inner judge, it's using those rules from our book of law to constantly judge everything we do, think, feel. And when we don't live up to those standards, which are often, you know, totally unrealistic,
Right.
the judge condemns us.
Oh, okay.
And then the victim is left to carry all the blame, the shame.
Wow. So it's a constant cycle.
Yes, it's self-judgment and suffering based on this system we didn't even consciously create.
It's so true, though.
The inner judge is like, you know, like this harsh critic that's always in your head.
Never satisfied.
Right.
And that constant judgment and just never feeling good enough, that's what leads to the emotional poison.
Yes, it's our reaction to going against our own book of law, or when someone questions it. You know, it's that feeling of inadequacy or feeling threatened
Yeah.
when someone challenges our beliefs.
Like just feeling off?
Yes, that unease, that defensiveness, that's the poison. Think about how easily a simple disagreement can turn into a huge fight.
It happens all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And on a larger scale, that's what he calls the dream of the planet. It's like the combined dream of everyone. And it's full of fear, suffering, injustice.
Oh, wow.
He actually calls it a dream of hell.
That's intense. And then there's this other concept, the mitote. I think he also uses the word Maya for it. It's like this chaos in our minds, like 1,000 voices all talking at once.
Is mental static. You know,
Yeah.
It keeps us from seeing clearly.
Both, like inside and outside ourselves?
Exactly.
Wow. So all this noise, this mitote, it creates like a fog.
A fog that distorts our perception.
Yeah.
And it prevents us from seeing our true nature.
Hmm.
And because of that, we develop this fear. And, you know, it might surprise you. He says it's not the fear of death.
Not death. What could be scarier than that?
The fear of truly being alive,
Oh.
of expressing who we really are.
Okay, I can see that.
It's this deep fear of not being accepted, not being good enough. And it all stems from that domestication, from trying to live up to this perfect image.
It's the fear of being authentic and then, like, being rejected for it.
Exactly. We create this perfect image of who we should be, and then we inevitably fall short.
Always.
And we end up projecting ourselves.
It's like we can't forgive ourselves the way we might forgive someone else.
And that self-rejection turns into self-abuse.
Yeah.
We become our own worst critics.
Yeah, we're so hard on ourselves.
And we put up with so much more from ourselves than we would ever tolerate from another person.
So true. You know, it makes you realize how much energy we waste on these negative thoughts.
Right.
He talks about the energy of fear-based agreements versus love-based agreements.
Yes.
Fear just drains us, but love, it energizes us.
And that brings us to the first agreement. Be impeccable with your word.
Okay.
Ruiz emphasizes that our words have power. He calls it a gift from God.
The word, a gift.
It's a creative force,
I like that.
but like a double-edged sword.
Oh, how so?
It can create beauty, harmony,
Okay.
or it can create destruction, chaos,
Right.
what he calls black magic.
That's interesting. So it's about our intentions, like what we put behind our words.
Exactly. He compares the mind to fertile ground. Our words are the seeds, and whatever we plant, it grows.
Wow.
But unfortunately, the mind seems to be most fertile for the seeds of fear.
Oh, so true.
And those seeds can grow into some really damaging spells. Like someone casually saying, "Oh, you look sick."
Right.
Or telling a child, "You're not very smart."
Yeah.
Those words can have a huge impact on how a person sees themselves.
Especially when we're kids, right?
Especially that.
Still being domesticated.
Right.
But the good news is he says we can break those spells.
Yes.
By adopting new agreements, ones based on truth.
Absolutely.
So impeccability, it's not about never making a mistake, is it?
No.
It's more about being true to yourself.
He defines it as without sin.
Interesting. Not in a religious way, though, right?
Right. It's about not going against yourself.
Okay.
Sin is anything that goes against our own well-being. And it starts with self-rejection.
Self-rejection. That makes sense.
So being impeccable means taking responsibility for our words, but without judging ourselves. It's a subtle but important difference.
Yeah, I see that. So he's saying in this dream of hell that we misuse our words a lot.
All the time.
Cursing, blaming, gossiping.
Spreading poison.
And he really goes after gossip.
It's the worst form of black magic, he says. Like a computer virus. It infects the mind, spreads misinformation, negativity.
Wow.
And then you have the people who spread rumors intentionally.
Yeah, like with malicious intent.
Those are the computer hackers.
Yeah.
They're using words as weapons.
So it's not just what we say to others, it's also what we say to ourselves, right?
Yes, that negative self-talk.
Like beating ourselves up.
It can be so damaging.
It really can.
So being impeccable with our word also means being kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
It's about cleaning out that internal poison.
And becoming immune to the negative words of others.
Exactly.
So if we choose our words carefully, if we speak with truth and kindness, that's how we transcend this dream of hell.
Yes, it's using our words for good, for white magic.
And that brings us to the second agreement. Don't take anything personally.
This one is challenging.
Oh, yeah.
He says that nothing anyone does is because of us. It's always because of them.
That's a tough one to swallow.
It's about shifting our perspective.
Okay.
He says we take things personally because we think we're so important. Like, everything is about me.
Oh, yeah, we do that.
But everyone is living in their own dream with their own set of beliefs and experiences. So when someone criticizes us or acts in a way that hurts us,
Yeah.
it's not really about us. It's about them.
So like their baggage.
He calls it their emotional garbage. And when we take it personally, we're taking on their garbage.
Yuck.
But if we can see that it's not about us, we develop an immunity.
To their negativity.
Yes. Even in the middle of this dream of hell.
It's like having a shield or something.
It's incredibly freeing.
He says taking things personally leads to all sorts of problems.
Defensiveness, conflicts.
Always trying to be right.
It's all about protecting the ego.
So true.
But even if someone's words trigger a wound in us,
Yeah.
they didn't create that wound.
The vulnerability was already there.
Exactly.
And he says that everyone is the star of their own movie.
Their perspective is their own.
Right.
We all have our own unique way of seeing things.
I like that.
And he links negative emotions like anger, jealousy, sadness, back to fear.
Okay.
He says if we could get rid of fear, those emotions would disappear.
That's a big if, but I see what he means.
It's transformative, isn't it?
Transformative. It is.
And from that perspective,
Right.
even when someone seems to be intentionally hurting us, it's still not personal. They're acting from their level of awareness, their own agreements.
So we shouldn't even take our own negative thoughts personally.
Not really. They might not even be true.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. It's like that mitut again, right?
Exactly.
All those voices in our heads.
Creating confusion.
And when we take things personally, we're just feeding that chaos.
And setting ourselves up for suffering.
He says we can become addicted to suffering.
It's true.
That's wild.
We get so used to the drama, the negativity.
Right.
We don't even realize we're doing it.
And other people, they're not always reliable sources of truth either, right?
He says they often lie to themselves. So we have to trust our own inner wisdom.
Okay.
That's where the real truth lies.
So if we can learn to observe others without taking things personally, it protects us from getting hurt.
It's a shield.
And he even says that when someone leaves our life, it might actually be a good thing.
A blessing in disguise.
It prevents us from suffering more down the line.
Exactly.
So this second agreement, it really is about freedom.
Freedom from negativity, from drama.
And from those black magicians who try to bring us down with their words.
Exactly.
It's a powerful idea.
It is.
And that leads perfectly into the third agreement. Don't make assumptions.
We all do it.
All the time, right?
It's so easy to assume we know what others are thinking or feeling. But the danger is when we believe those assumptions are true.
And those assumptions, they cause so many problems, don't they?
Misunderstandings, conflicts, drama.
Yeah.
All because we didn't bother to ask for clarification.
Oh, he says all sadness and drama comes from assumptions and taking things personally.
Exactly. Think about it.
I mean, gossip is basically just spreading assumptions, right?
Sharing poison.
Right. And why do we do that? Because we're afraid to ask questions?
We'd rather make up a story in our heads.
Then look stupid, right?
Exactly.
And that me-tote doesn't help either, does it?
No, it just adds to the confusion. We end up seeing what we want to see.
Hearing what we want to hear.
And then we start creating these fantasies.
Oh, especially in relationships.
All the time.
Yeah.
We assume our partner knows what we're thinking, what we need.
And then we get upset when they don't.
You should have known.
Oh.
That phrase.
It's the assumption trap.
So true. He says the human mind wants to understand everything right.
It makes us feel safe. So when we don't know something, we fill in the gaps with assumptions.
Instead of communicating.
And we assume everyone sees the world the way we do, right?
Exactly.
So we're afraid to be ourselves because we think everyone will judge us based on our own rules.
It's projection.
And we also make assumptions about ourselves, don't we?
About our abilities.
Yeah, like thinking you're not good enough or that we can do more than we really can.
It can be limiting in both directions.
Oh, and then there's that thing where we ignore the bad parts of people we like.
To justify our feelings for them.
My love will change them.
He says that's not real love.
Huh.
Real love is accepting someone as they are.
Okay.
Not trying to change them.
I like that. So the solution to all this is communication, right?
Clear, impeccable communication.
Asking questions.
Saying what we mean.
And giving others the right to say yes or no.
Exactly.
He says that good communication can transform relationships.
It can clear up so many misunderstandings.
It's simple, but it takes effort, doesn't it?
It's about breaking old habits.
And becoming a white magician with our words.
Using them to create understanding and love.
I like that. Okay, let's talk about the fourth agreement. Always do your best.
This one is the foundation.
The foundation.
It supports the other three.
Oh, okay.
It helps them become habits.
Makes sense.
Now, your best is not some fixed standard.
Right.
It changes from moment to moment.
Depending on how we're feeling, right?
Physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
So it's not about pushing ourselves beyond our limits.
Right.
Or doing less than we're capable of.
Because that leads to guilt and regret.
And wasted energy.
So it's about finding that sweet spot.
The balance between effort and acceptance.
And he says that doing our best is how we break the spell of suffering.
The big spell.
Huh.
He tells this story about a meditator who was trying to reach enlightenment.
Okay.
And the point is, it's not about the amount of time you spend meditating.
Right.
It's about the intention, the quality of your effort.
Oh, I see.
And when we do our best, our lives become more intense, more joyful, kinder to ourselves and others.
He says we should take action just for the sake of it.
Not for the reward.
Yeah, just enjoying the process.
Exactly.
Because when we do our best, that inner judge can't find us guilty, right?
There's nothing to condemn.
And making mistakes is part of it, isn't it?
It's how we learn.
It's part of doing our best.
True best feels good.
Okay.
It doesn't have negative consequences.
So it's about living fully.
Yes.
He says inaction is denying life.
We should make doing our best a ritual.
In everything we do.
Everything.
Even self-care.
Especially self-care. It's an act of love.
Love for ourselves.
And for life itself. He calls it honoring God.
Interesting.
And letting go of the past, living in the present moment. That's the best way to say thank you, God.
I like that.
You have the right to be yourself, and doing your best honors that right.
That's powerful.
And the first 3 agreements, they only work if you're doing your best to uphold them.
So it all comes back to this 4th agreement.
It's the key.
He says that if you keep practicing, if you keep doing your best to live by these agreements,
You will find freedom, you will find self-love.
it's a guarantee.
He says so.
Wow. So these 4 agreements, together, they can help us escape this dream of hell.
And create our own heaven.
A heaven right here on earth.
Exactly.
That's incredible. But the book doesn't end there, does it?
Yeah.
He also talks about how to break free from our old agreements, the ones that are holding us back.
That's the real challenge.
Because those old agreements, they're so deeply ingrained.
They're like chains,
Yeah. He says true freedom is the freedom to be who we really are.
not who society tells us to be.
Right. And we often blame external factors for our limitations.
But we're the ones who are limiting ourselves.
Through our judge, our victim, our beliefs.
well, it's internal.
He has this beautiful image of our true self being like a child.
Joyful, spontaneous.
And then responsibilities come along and we lose that.
We become serious adults.
And lose our freedom.
The first step to freedom is awareness.
Awareness of what?
That we're not actually free. And then we have to understand the problem. He calls it a parasite.
A parasite in our minds.
Yes, it's the judge, the victim, the belief system.
Oh, I see.
They feed off our fear, our negativity.
And he says the dream of the planet is not real.
It's an illusion based on lies.
So we have to master our own dream.
Our life is an art, and we can change it.
How do we do that?
He talks about 3 masteries: awareness, transformation, and intent.
Okay.
And intent is another word for love.
Interesting.
So we have this parasite in our minds,
The judge, the victim, the beliefs.
and they're feeding off our negative emotions.
Right.
It's the warrior's path to rebel against this parasite.
To reclaim our minds.
Our minds, our brains,
He says heaven and hell are not places we go to after we die.
they're states of mind.
Okay.
So how do we fight this parasite? There are 3 ways.
Okay, tell me.
First, attack your fears, one by one.
Face them head on.
Yes.
What's the second way?
Stop feeding the parasite
With negativity.
with negative emotions.
Okay.
And the third way is what he calls the initiation of the dead.
The initiation of the dead. What's that?
It's a symbolic death
Of what?
of the old dream, the old self. It's letting go of everything that's holding you back.
And then what happens?
You're reborn.
Into a new way of being.
Yes.
And this new dream, it's called the dream of the second attention.
It's where we choose new beliefs.
Like the 4 agreements.
Exactly.
And when we break those old agreements, we reclaim our power.
Our personal power.
He says we should start small though, right?
With the smaller fears, the smaller demons.
And work our way up.
Yes.
Replacing those old agreements with new ones.
Positive ones.
It's a process, isn't it?
It takes time, patience.
Because those old agreements, they're like addictions.
They have a strong hold on us.
And we have to be disciplined like warriors to overcome them.
It's about controlling our emotions.
Not repressing them, but refraining.
Exactly.
So that we can use that energy for transformation.
For creating our new dream.
Okay, so back to the initiation of the dead.
Yes.
What does that really mean?
It's embracing death as a teacher. Living fully in the present moment.
Okay.
The old dream dies, the parasite dies.
And then we're resurrected.
As our true self.
Of wisdom.
Yes.
Wow.
And then we can create heaven on earth.
By choosing a new dream based on love.
And by changing our perception.
How so?
Imagine seeing love in everything.
In everything.
Yes. In the trees, the sky, the people around you.
That sounds amazing.
It's a state of bliss.
It's like being in love.
Exactly.
He says happiness is a choice.
We can choose to love, choose to be happy.
And create our own heaven.
Right here, right now.
Wow. This book is so powerful.
It really is.
It gives us a whole new way of seeing the world and ourselves.
And a path to freedom.
Freedom from suffering, from limitations.
Freedom to be who we truly are.
I love that. So to recap, here are 5 key takeaways from the 4 agreements that we can apply to our daily lives.
To create more peace, happiness, and freedom.
Number 1, be impeccable with your word.
Choose your words carefully.
Speak with integrity.
Avoid gossip and negative self-talk.
Number 2, don't take anything personally.
Remember that other people's actions and opinions are about them, not you.
So don't let them hurt you.
Protect your emotional well-being.
Number 3, don't make assumptions.
Ask questions.
Communicate clearly.
Avoid misunderstandings and drama.
Number 4, always do your best.
But remember, your best changes from day to day.
Don't judge yourself harshly.
Just put in the effort that feels right for you in each moment.
And finally, number 5, be aware of your domestication.
Recognize the beliefs and patterns that might be causing you suffering, and then challenge them.
Choose new beliefs that serve you better.
It's a journey,
It takes time and effort.
but it's worth it.
Absolutely.
These 4 agreements, they offer a path to a more fulfilling life.
A life of freedom, love, and authenticity.
Thank you for sharing this book with us.
And for joining us on this journey.
And to all our listeners out there,
Stay curious.
expand your mind.
Keep exploring.
And remember,
The power to change your life is within you.
always,
Thank you so much for your like. Please consider subscribing to our channel to keep discovering fascinating aspects of our minds, spirits, and existence.